Hi, I'm Pooja Handa. I'm on a date with Daniel. He swiped right.
Pooja, I'm so excited. You're here for a date with Daniel. We've got the drinks ready.
I'm so excited too.
You are wearing the rainbow.
Yes.
You came prepared. I love this.
This was totally by accident. I didn't think of you and then thought, rainbow. I promise you that didn't happen, but it does fit, doesn't
Yes,
it?
it does. It's so appropriate. But you know, the energy you're bringing right now is the energy you bring every morning to our television screens. But what are you drinking? What are you drinking to help keep that going?
Not that at that time of the morning when the alarm goes off at 4 a.m. I'm not allowed to do that. And honestly, I don't even have coffee during the breakfast show because I get too wound up. I get a little, like, I have a lot of a natural energy person.
Yeah.
Energy person. I'm an energetic person. I'm really sort of always on. So
There's caffeine in your blood, essentially.
I think so. And I think for me, a lot of it is like when that alarm goes off, I'm like, oh gosh, I can't believe what time it is. But then by the time I get to work, it's just so exciting because every day brings something new. There's always a new guest. There's always something exciting happening in the city. And really, like, I get to be that person who tells Toronto what's going on. So I'm excited about having that opportunity to do that. It's such a privilege to be able to be that person that people wake up to.
Yeah. You know what? I'm quite the energetic individual. This is why we get along. We're like soul sisters,
Yes.
right? But, you know, has there ever been a time where nobody has really responded to that in the way that you're normally used to? I'm really, especially in a morning show, I'm excited to know if you've got if you've had a few awkward experiences.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, my whole existence is awkward. I'm always awkward. I've gone into like hug celebrities and like my shoulder has like, you know, elbowed them in the Adam's apple and like, you know, you just awkward. I've like said weird things that I shouldn't say because I got excited or nervous or whatever. I mean, things happen all the time, but I always say that it's part of being human, right? You know, I'm just a normal human being. I make mistakes, you know, and I think that part makes it more relatable for people is that they don't want to see somebody who is up there being quote unquote perfect, who has a perfect life, because I don't have a perfect life, and you know, and I will make mistakes, and there's something very human in that.
Yeah. Now, you know, let's talk about that. For you've been in this business for almost 15 years now. You know, you're still young. You know, you're still young and fabulous.
Makeup
good
does
lighting.
wonders. Good lighting.
Exactly. But you know, you've been in this business for 15 years, and what it was 15 years ago, it's completely changed right now. How has that changing landscape been for you as someone who's been in the business, who's seen it change over the past 15 years?
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, I really feel for a lot of the students I talk to who are graduating out of broadcast journalism programs right now because the job situation isn't what it used to be. And the whole TV landscape, as you mentioned, it's completely changed. We keep hearing nobody's watching TV anymore, you know. They're on their phones, they're on Netflix, they're on watching YouTube, you know, they love their YouTubers. And that is a reality that we all have to get used to. That's where it's going. And, you know, we're going to see more and more of that. I think the beauty in being on morning television in news is that study after study has found that people still watch local news and sports. So we've sort of been able to weather the storm in that way, and people still want to know what's happening in their community. They want to know what's happening in their neighborhood, and that's the beauty in having some longevity in what I do. So in that way, I don't think it's changed a whole lot for me, but I do realize that the changes are coming and we have to adapt, and that means that we have so much more of a social media presence now as well, since when people wake up, it used to be that they turned on the TV, but now it's that they pick up that phone, they check their feeds, whether it's, you know, Instagram or Twitter or whatever it is, and then maybe they turn on the TV. So we have to be mindful of being here as well as being on the TV screen. So, and that's what we do.
Yeah. Now, you know, you spoke about speaking to students, and you really are great at mentoring a lot of young talent, you know, budding talent, you know, people who really want to know a lot about the biz. What's your advice to them? Because a lot of them want to be where you're at right now, but the way to get there has become very difficult now. And the changes that are actually happening for some of us who are there is quite tumultuous. You know, one time you have a show, next time you don't. It could be in a matter of months, weeks. It's just very rapid, the changes. What's your advice to them?
I think so much of it is taking matters into your own hands. I mean, if you really believe in your talent, if you really know that you've got something and you've worked on it, I don't mean that you just think it and your mom and dad tell you you're great, because that's great, but you've really practiced, you've really like put in the time, the energy, the work, you've worked for free, you've interned, you've done everything you can, and you're still not getting where you want to get, then I do think you have to take matters into your own hands, and it's becoming easier. We talk about those YouTubers, it's easier to get in front of people and get in front of an audience. So if you've got something that you want to put out there, there's many eyeballs waiting to see what you have. Millions.
Yeah.
So believe in yourself and take it to that next level. If the employers don't see it, show them. Do it yourself, show them. And then that way you constantly have something to be able to show people, because that's really what it boils down to. Everybody has talent, but you have to be able to show people what you can do.
Yeah. And how did you do that when you were trying to start out, when you were starting off in this business? Because you're talking right now, and I know that this is something that you believe from the depths of your soul, and I know that you've practiced this as well.
I practice every day.
Yeah.
I'm still practicing. I still watch every show back to see where I can improve and what I can do better.
Wow.
My mannerisms. Like I have this thing where my hands are very fidgety, so I always try to watch my little idiosyncrasies to see what I can fix and change. And
that's so great to know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody's perfect, right? So
No.
if you're always trying to strive to be the best then you should be doing those things, right? And I'm always surprised when I hear people say, "Oh, I can't watch myself back. It's too hard." It may be hard, but if it's hard, you learn so much. Exactly. And so for me, I think I've been on TV for a long time, as we mentioned. I think people think I've just came around a few years ago, but I've been in the business a long time, and I've done everything from behind the scenes to wrapping cable and rolling teleprompter and bringing in coffee supplies and answering phones.
And pH Factor, I do remember that.
Yes, and pH Factor when I first started, which had to be a segment again. Nobody was going to just say, "Pooja, let's give you some entertainment headlines to read. You're the traffic reporter." So I had to create my own segment and create things so people could see I had a personality and there were other things I could do. So, I mean, I was lucky and somebody gave me a chance, and I was relatively young, right out of school. But they gave me a chance knowing that I had done all of the work that I mentioned before. So I did all the volunteering and everything like that at 4 different places interning. I had already been on air locally for a couple of years, so I had a tape showing what I could do. Again, being able to show them what you're capable of. You knew how to sell yourself. Maybe. I mean, I think I struggle with that. I think a lot of people do. I'm finding that the proof is in the pudding. So I could talk a big game, like, "Oh, I could do this," but if I can show you that I can do it somehow, that always, to me, it has more of an impact.
Yeah. How do you think you've changed over the years? Personally and professionally? Because if we're speaking about these 15 years, you did so much work, you had so much experience behind the camera, in front of the camera, interning, working for free, then getting paid to do your work, going from traffic and then proving to people that you were more than just a traffic reporter. How have you changed to now, being the anchor that we know you are, being that familiar face every morning, representing our city in the best light? How's that journey been for you?
I think that you just get more confident in being yourself, which sounds crazy, because how hard is it to be yourself? That should be the easiest thing to do. But I had to almost go around in a circle to get back to being me, because you think that here I am, this kid right out of school, who's going to believe me? Who's going to take me seriously? So you feel like you have to be this serious news person, if you're going to be in news, or you feel like you've got to somehow put on this jazz hands energy, so people people know you're happy, which you don't realize is actually the best way to alienate people, because when people don't see that authenticity, or they don't see that you're a real person, you're not trying too hard, you're not going to get every word right, you're not going to be grammatically sound every time. Well, that's when, I think you really shine. So it's taken me a long time to get to a place where I'm very comfortable with just being me and trusting myself to kind of know what I'm doing, I guess.
And I guess that identity keeps changing.
Yeah. And as I get older, and you always want viewers to be able to relate to you, but some of that also requires thinking about, who's watching you, who's your audience, right? And on CB24 Breakfast, we have a huge audience. So you're always thinking about the mom who's up with, her newborn, who's up early at 5 o'clock in the morning and trying to, do her feeding and get back to bed, who's sleep deprived, and kind of the stories and the way you're going to tell that story is going to be something that relates to the person that you're talking to directly. So I think a lot of that has happened with age. I'm starting to realize that,
Girl, you are young.
No, I know, but you live in your own world,
Yeah.
and you realize there's a whole other world out there, and
Yeah.
everybody's got their thing going on. So you have to find a way to kind of speak to everybody.
Yeah. And before we finish, I wanted to ask you, you came on TV at a time that we were celebrating a lot of ethnic talent on TV. We were starting to be more diverse. There was more diverse representation on television. How do you think that is today as a South Asian woman
Yeah.
to be on a mainstream platform? What were some of the challenges you faced, and where do you think we stand with that now today?
Well, I felt like when I was getting in the business, it was great because I had people that I could look to, like Monica Diol and Suhana Marchand, and there was a handful of South Asians that were on TV that made me go, well, if they could do it, I could do it, which made me feel like there was somebody who finally looked like me on TV,
Yeah.
which was great. But I think what I started to notice is a lot of the positions were weather, or traffic, or we would just be on the weekends, or you never really were
We
on
had
the
those side positions.
the sides. You were never on the main show. You were never the main person.
You were over the fries with the salad on the side.
That's
Yes.
what it felt like, and and you don't want to. I don't want to ever play that card because I think everybody works really hard to get where they
Yes,
are. They all
yeah.
have their own individual stories, but there was a part of me that said there is absolutely no reason why I can't be one of the main people. I mean, why not, right? I've worked hard. I've put in my time. I feel like I'm friendly and I can do the job. I have the talent. So I think that has been something that I'm noticing now too, is seeing South Asians in positions that are the main stage, right? And
I love that.
That's where the next part is, and the part even beyond that is the people who make the decisions of who gets to be in the main stage,
Yeah.
or the content of what we're talking about. Those people have to be more diverse as well, because
It's a mindset shift.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Because the way one person's going to look at a story versus somebody else who has how many different experiences or cultural background or whatever it may be is going to be different. So the more diversity we have behind the scenes, the better we're going to see that reflected in what we see on air, to also reflect what we see out on the street of Toronto.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you are such a positive face for that diversity
Aw,
in
thank
all
you.
shapes and forms. Thanks you so much for joining
What,
me.
we're done?
Yes, we are, girl. I need to take a sip of this wine.
I'm a cheap date, I think. Just for one glass. Where's my meal?
We will have a second glass, and we will have a little bit more of an adult conversation when we have that. Okay?
Okay.
This date is not over.
Okay, good.
Yes,
I
cheers.
thought this was one of those I'm never getting a call back. When people don't call anymore, I'm sorry, that's what it was. They text.
We text, exactly,
Okay.
or we WhatsApp.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks, Daniel.